excitement and energy every day of my life about this company. That's what got me here today. I'm not walking through my life not being excited. I'm out there, eyes open, meeting people, living. If the music plays, I'm dancing. So I want you to keep that in mind today when you're learning and listening to my stuff. Everyone that comes up here has their own way to train a regional. In fact, if you have your phones with you and you're on Facebook, I would love for everyone at some point today to give a big shout out to Danny Gassamy, who was supposed to be here today. We had shut down our Springfield Regional to come here to see him. And we're so sad about his collarbone injury to where he couldn't be here today. But if you guys grab your phone sometime and do a shout out and say, hey Danny, Kansas City loves you. We all miss you. Springfield loves you. Just get out there and do that for me. That'll make him feel so good because he's had a really rough time. It's been hard. So we want to give all of our good thoughts for him today because he wanted to be here so bad. But I'm happy that I'm here for you. And I will just tell you, I'm going to go through some of these slides and I'm going to take some time on some slides, and some slides I'm going to slide on by. Because I think that we can all do our training that we need to do. We're on the calls and we do all this stuff. But I'm going to try and share some different things that I've learned in my 15 months that's really helped me. And so today you're going to get, my version of the regional training. And it's all in system with Nerium because that's all I've done is their system. But I'll give you a few tips and things that have really been beneficial to me that have made a difference in different ways that I look at stuff with the company. First of all, your success planner that comes in your box or that your upline leader hands to you the day you sign up. Hopefully everyone's kind of on track for doing that now. It's just a great thing that you to have with you everywhere you are. I still carry one in my car, in my briefcase. It's a great reminder that you're working the system every day. It has your calendar in there, updated versions online that you can print off. The Nerium culture. This is, to me, the biggest part of our company. We have an amazing, happy company. It's rare. If you talk to other people that have come from any other place, they will just tell you this is like Disneyland, 7 days a week at Nerium because people are having so much fun with it and they're so happy and they're living this great life of integrity and reaching their goals. That Nerium is based on one word, and that's real. When I first signed up into Nerium, I was so happy to see that these pictures are real. This is not fake. This is not some company blowing smoke up our skirts or whatever the saying is. It's real. These pictures are people like you and me, and I just learned how to do it a few years ago, but using our iPhones, to take pictures and posting them on there and then showing the after picture. So we're so fortunate. We have, of course, our 10 core values that are right inside your success planner, and then our Nerium gives back. But basically, for me, what does this all mean? What is our Nerium culture? For me, Nerium is a place to change people's lives for the better. And when I got in, I got in with full excitement of finding something new, and I'm going to fill some time when my kids go off to college, and that's all fine and good. Well, what's happening now is I have people that come up to me all over the country that I've never met before that'll say, you know what, I heard you speak in Las Vegas and it changed my life. Okay, if you have one person in your life tell you that your whole entire life, it will change your life. And it has. And so my mission and the reason why I feel like this Nerium culture is so important is because they breed that. They breed and teach us how to get out there and actually make a difference in anyone's life that will let us. So it's a gift that we have, and it's a gift that we can give, and that's the Nerium culture. Creating leverage income. Okay, this is so important. I want to tell you something. Whenever somebody comes to me and asks me about, let's say, a hair salon, I get a million calls. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I want to go get a hair salon. I'm a new brand partner. I have to have a hair salon. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because that's the best way for us to sell Nerium. And I'm like, well, no, not really. Any business is your best way. Every single business is your best way. But they say, how do I approach it? And here's what I say, and it has everything to do with leverage income. When you have a business owner that has so many hours in their day, and for example, we'll go back to the hair salons, and they have so many heads they can work on all day, right? They may fit in 8 hours. They have 8 people in their chairs all day long. And so they're getting, paid per hour by the person that's sitting in their chair. If they fall and break their leg and they can't go to work, what happens? They make no money. And so they're getting paid basically their hourly pay. And then we have salary pay, people that go to work and they work, they work 40 hours a week and they make money like that and they go there. And if they get fired or lose their job, then how do they make? They make no money. So what I tell them is when you're coming to me talking about a hair salon, here's what I think we need to teach everyone out there. And that is what we have at Nerium, and that is leveraged income. This is the most important point. And they're thinking, how do I get in the door and give them a magazine and get them the product? That's just like anybody else out there. But what our job and our mission is to go out there and teach everyone what is leveraged income. And that is when we're not there, we're still making money. Last fall, Mark Smith came to Springfield, Missouri. It was one of the first leadership. It was the first leadership academy that he ever did outside of LA. And we were all so excited. We were all fairly new leaders at that time. And and he basically during the training looked over at me and said she could go to Italy for a month and sit on a beach, and she's still going to make her check next month. And everyone went, what? And I went, what? I can? I'm gone. I was like, I'm out of here. But that's leveraged income because you work, and you put your hours in, and then you sign up more people that you train and you sponsor to put their hours in, and then they get more people, and then we have leveraged income so that when we can't work one day, we're still making money. And that to me is one of the most important concepts in this business. And I know you may all be going, well, I get that. I've gotten that. I know it's residual income, but it's leveraged income. It's smart. It's working smarter, not harder. And you can, a lot of these slides, I don't like to just sit and read the slides, but as you're sitting there, feel free to read the slides. So you can see how many hours per week you're going to get out of it because you're having leveraged income. Time and money. In this business up front, when you're new and you're learning this business and you're first talking to people and you're training people and you're sponsoring people, which that's going to continue on and on throughout your whole entire career. But in the very beginning, you're putting more time in. I know when I first started with Nerium, and I was kind of putting different time in. When I first started with Nerium, what I did is this. I signed up May 1st and I wrote a letter. I wrote an introduction letter. I'm happy to send it out to you. It's very simple and very basic. I'm not even that proud of it. When I look back at it, I'm like, "Gaw, that got me business." But I sent it out across the nation because it shows you kind of what I did when I first got started. And it was a letter that basically I titled My New Discovery. And I wrote this letter and then I sent it out to every single person in my contacts. I didn't judge him. I didn't say, oh, she's super wealthy. She doesn't need this business. Or, he is a very big business guy in my town or an attorney. He doesn't need this business. I sent this letter out to every single person I knew. And then I went over to my Facebook page, which because I'm old and didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do this until my daughter told me, I posted that whole letter in my status bar. And it was like this whole letter. And it said, My New Discovery. And I had about 56 people off of that letter posted in my status bar say, I'm interested. 56 people. And when I did that, I was doing it out of complete, total ignorance. I didn't know. Believe me, you guys, ignorance is bliss. Everything you learn today, I want you to go, oh, that is great knowledge, but I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to do it. And as I learn all that stuff and I keep learning that stuff as I go, I'm going to run alongside my success. Because what happened in the beginning was that I knew nothing. But I was out there and I was exposing Nerium to everybody I could come across. And I was doing it with excitement and with energy. And when the music would play, we would all dance because we were having so much fun. We went from party to party to party exposing Nerium. Okay, so my first year, that's all I've done. I'm still doing that. And so I'm putting in a lot of time. And when you first start with Nerium, you might feel like, you're putting in so much time and the money hasn't really started coming in yet. But what happens is this. After you continue to work at that pace and then it starts to get easier for you, you start to know how to work smarter, not harder. You have a leveraged income. You have people on your team that are working. Your money starts to go up significantly. And this can happen at different times for different people. We have, Mindy and I were talking earlier, we have a lot of people on our teams that have had really fast starts. And we've had a lot of people on our teams that have had really more consistently slow starts. We have a gentleman on my team in Springfield, so proud of him. He's a photographer. His name's Preston, and he's worked so hard. He's been in every meeting. He's been in every regional. He goes to the bashes that he can. He has very small children at home. He's worked it consistently and persistently over time, and he, after his first year, just hit director last month. And I cried. I'm going to be honest with you. I cried because he kept showing up, and I knew it would work. I knew he would do it, but it just took longer for him. But that doesn't matter because we've just begun. This company, this is like barely a foundation. We're just going. But this is what it is. So for him, his arrow up to the big money started a little bit slower, a little bit flatter. Some people go shooting straight up. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you just keep going. That's all that matters. Does anyone else agree? Yes. The Nerium Slide Edge, we love this arrow. Jeff shows it all the time, but it also shows you the money along the way. If you're working your business consistently and how your first, second, third, fourth, fifth month, you might look at that income and go, gosh, I'm putting in all this time. I'm talking to everybody I know. I'm going to all the RRPs and market parties and bashes, and why isn't my income higher? It will happen if you are consistently doing what you're supposed to do, which is all going to be laid out for you today if you haven't already seen this. And that will happen, and your income will rise significantly. It can't help but not do that. All the reasons why we're here today, there's so many beautiful reasons why people have to do the business, but the most important thing is that you have one, and that you know what your why is. Because your why is what gets us out of bed in the morning, and more importantly, your why, and I'm going to do something that's going to make you guys laugh at me, because I like to embarrass myself. But this is the way I look at this. In this company, there are so many people that have never been told that they can do whatever they want to do. I was very fortunate. I had a very strong German dad, and he's long since gone. But he wanted 3 sons and he got 3 daughters. Ha ha! Joke on him. So, but he, at a very young age, started telling my sisters and I that we could do anything we wanted to do. In fact, what he wanted us to do was to make enough money to buy him a Learjet. Well, I wish he would have waited until Nerium came around, because I hope someday to be able to have done that for him. But what he did was he taught us that we could do anything. Well, most people, and I'm sure many people in this room, never had that. They never had a parent or someone in their life that actually told them that they could do anything that they want to do. And it's unfortunate, but it's very true. And then a lot of times, if they do have strong parents at home that give them the love and say you can do it, they go out into the world and they get beat down, and they get beat down over and over again. And they don't actually believe that they can do what they're set out to do. So this is why people need their why. Because this is how you get past that in this business. If you have a very strong why and a passion for why you want to get to your why, then when that person or that family member, when you say, I'm going to start this business, I'm going to work it, I'm going to sell, Nerium, I'm so excited, and that person, and they go, whoa, you can't do that, you're going to fail, then you go, no, I'm not. You just keep on going. And so here's what I want you to think about. You guys can think about me. It's going to embarrass you that I'm going to do this, but okay, I want you to think about these dead bodies in the road. Okay, we can call them logs. But dead bodies is funnier, I thought. But when you're, and I have a sick sense of humor, you're going to learn that today. But, when you hear, someone say to you, you can't do this, or I would never do multi-level marketing, or whatever you hear that is that negative that comes your way, I just want you to jump over it and keep going. And the reason why I want you to do that is because of this, because of your why. I want you to think in my brain, I'm not going to let anyone stop me. I'm just going to jump over it, and I'm going to keep going. And I promise you're going to have that visual, and you're going to think of me, and you're going to go, this is really sick, Lisa. You can't be doing that dead body thing to me anymore. But it works. And it's so important to me, because people forget about their whys so fast. And as soon as they have a body in the road, a log in the road, a tree in the road, something that says to them, you can't do this, you're going to fail, then they do. And they stop. and they stop and they let it block their way to their why. So what you need to do is you need to figure out your why. And how you do that is like this. You sit down and you take some time out, schedule it in your planner if you need to. That's what I did. I scheduled an evening with my husband, and we sat down and we talked about what our why is. And you've got to do that, because if you don't schedule that time, you'll never get it done. And I cut out magazine pictures, I got a bulletin board, and I just wanted to find out what I really thought that I wanted to go towards every minute of the day, even when I heard the negative things. So do you think you can do that? Yeah. Have you done that? Do you have your why or your dream boards? No? No one's out there? Yes. Okay. Well, it's so important. It keeps us going, and it's the lifeblood of this company as people going towards their goal, and we're going to help you get there. So, as a new brand partner, the number one thing that we're focusing on in this company, of course, is the 3 and you're free, because we want you to have your product for free every single month. So you want to have your 3 preferred customers, and then to builder bonus qualified. We're going to go over the builder bonus a little bit today. I don't want you to even hyper-focus on worrying about that. It's so simple, but more importantly than that, none of us had that till like a month ago. And there's a lot of people in this company that were already making tons and tons and tons of money. So just remember, all the things that you learned today are great and good knowledge, but we even have, we already had it good, and now they're just making it better. So just focus on the important things, and that is sponsoring and fast start qualifying, okay? So to become in the builder bonus, basically what you want to do is you want to get your first 3 brand partners signed up into Nerium, and to fast start qualify them, it has to be within your first 30 days, of course. And when you do that, then your next leg is a builder bonus leg, so you're builder bonus qualified. If you are in this room and you did not fast start qualify when you first started with the company, it doesn't matter, because you will get to the builder bonus qualifications as soon as you hit director. So what we always tell everybody right now is, of course, when somebody signs up into Nerium, you want to lock arms with them and get them excited and get them fast start qualified. But you also want to go back and lock arms with anybody else that's in your organization that hasn't fast start qualified, and you want to grab them and help them get to director, walk them down that path, and show them that they can still, just like Preston. I mean, he just hit director after 12 months, and that guy, now he's just working as hard as he can to be senior director, and he'll make it, and he's going to do it at his own pace. But that's the great thing about the company, is no one left behind. I heard someone say that earlier, and I love that. No one left behind. If you didn't fast start, then you can go there. But why would we not want to get people fast start qualified their first month? Well, here's the thing. When you have a child, which many of us do in this room, and you take them, let's say, to a candy store, or I visualized over in Catalina Island, they have a taffy store that has this big taffy pull in the window. It's so cool. And I remember being a little girl standing outside and watching this big taffy pull make taffy, and they had all the flavors, and it was just like, oh my gosh, we were so excited. Well, my dad was an oral surgeon, and we weren't allowed to have sugar. So we had to just like look through the window, and we would get so excited, and every once in a while, Daddy would let us get, a piece of taffy. So I think about that a lot in a company like this, because when people get into Nerium, it's kind of like they're looking through the window of the taffy store. They see the dream. They're so excited. They know they're going to get something. They know they can do it. They have full confidence. They haven't had anybody knock them down yet, or they haven't had that person, unfortunately, probably a family member, say, you can't do this. Our family's so free with that line. And, but they haven't had that yet. So they're like this kid with these huge eyes, and they're so happy, and they're so excited. And that is when you want to grab them and run with them, because they are in full belief mode, and you want to get them to their first belief check. So this is what I think about when I think about builder bonus qualifications. You think about, why wouldn't the company, they're compensating us now, this extra $250, they're compensating us for just doing the right activities that get your new person, brand partner, with the childlike vision and the stars in the sky, and everything is still perfect. And not that it won't be perfect down the road once they get in and rolling, but when it's so new, that's when you want to grab them and you want to go with them and you want to run with them and you want to help them and keep them in that mode before someone else out there in the world gets to them and turns them off. Because we know 70%, the company says it, 70% of people that join a company like ours, a lot of times will hit those roadblocks, hit those bodies in the road, and they stop because they give up on their own dream and they give up on themselves. So if we, as the brand partners and the ones bringing them in, we get this extra bonus for it too. If we grab them and run with them when they're like that, then that's the perfect dream right there. We get them going. We get them fast start qualified. They get a belief check. They pay off their investment. If they've got 3 and they've signed up for $500, investment paid for, and then we get them going into their builder bonus code. And it just works out well for everyone involved. So I already went through that. I like to fly ahead, sorry. So to be a director, just in case there are brand new brand partners in the room, if you did not fast start qualify to be a director, you have to have $4,500 worth of volume in 1 month's time, and $500 of that has to come from your own personal qualifying volume, and then 3 active personally sponsored brand partner legs. The main thing to remember about the builder bonus, to keep getting paid your builder bonus once you have that 4th builder bonus leg going, is you have to be a senior brand partner. So you have to have 3 brand partners that are currently active on your team. Builder bonus terminology. Okay, builder bonus qualified. Brand partners who have fast start qualified or achieved the rank of director are able to participate in the builder bonus programs. That's just called builder bonus qualified. And then your bonus legs are all those legs after your first 3 brand partners are signed up. And then so it could be your 4th leg, your 5th leg. I signed up 28 people my first month, so I had 3 people that I kept on the same thing, and then I plunked all these people down into my tree. And so you're going, well, I don't have a 4th, 5th, 6th leg, because you're thinking out to the side. All those people past my first 3 would be builder bonus legs, even if I moved them down into my tree. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. At certain points, I will take a couple questions, especially on this new area stuff, and then if not, if it gets too late, then we'll do that at the end. But if anyone has a question on builder bonus, please go ahead and ask it now. And if you don't, that's great. I just want to make sure, because this is really important to our company in one aspect, that it's an amazing new fun thing, and I want you to get it over here, but I also want you to not worry about it over here. Just run forward, continuing to share Nerium. That's more important. Coded is a term that's when the legs are coded to you. Now, the good news is you don't have to worry about how to figure that out. It's all in your back office. You click underneath the builder bonus graph, and it'll show you who is coded to you. So you'll know. So you could have hundreds of people in your downline that are coded to you, that if someone underneath them fast starts qualified, you're going to get $250 and $250, and it goes to infinity, which is crazy. I have to tell you a quick story. I was in the room, Mindy was there, when they told us about this builder bonus qualification. We were in Vegas, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, I was sitting in this one area between about 4 past network marketing guru guys, like that have big involvement in big network marketing companies, which I was not. My past one, home sales, was very different. We didn't have the same type of trees, and it was all very different. So I really wasn't aware of this. But these guys knew these terms, builder bonus code and coded or whatever. This was something very familiar to them, and I was watching it, like Bill Boone and a couple of the guys. And when Mark Smith was telling all the national marketing directors about this before they told everybody else, so that we could kind of let it sink in a little bit so we could help do the training, I could see these network marketers. And when Mark Smith introduced it, he said we were going to get $100, $100 every time. And these networkers were like, oh my gosh. You know, they were freaking out over $100. And he kept saying $100, $100. And he introduced the whole program, did all the training. And at the very end, Mark Smith goes, oh, wait a minute, I made a mistake. And he goes and he erased it. He goes, I meant to say $250. I swear those guys about died. Like their heads were on the desk, you know, and to infinity. And so I'm just telling you that you may be more like me. I don't think we really get it, how big this is. Because if you think that the whole company's been in business 2 years, I've only been here 15 months. How long, Mindy? 14 months. So see, we're 16. Okay, so see, we're right the same almost. So we've been in just that long, and we have our organizations. You all have organizations growing like crazy. I mean, it's so exciting. If you think that this goes to infinity, and we're only in this is 15, 16 months. I mean, just think about 5, 7, 10 years down the road. What exactly does that mean? I don't think we get it. And that's what the network guys got. So it's very exciting, and it can show you, it can help you in the future make a lot of money. More importantly than just the money that you're going to make on this project is I want you to remember why they did it. The reason why they have this is because it's going to fuel you to do the right activities as a brand partner sponsor. So, people can be out there recruiting people, slam them in, throw them up against the wall, hope they stick. That is not how this works at Nerium. We want to bring them in, grab a hold of them, and get them into the company, get them plugged into the system, get them fast started and going off in their own future with Nerium, because that is what we do in this company. We bring people in and we sponsor them. And this fuels that activity. So that's why we're so excited about it. This is a video you can watch. The good news is all this training is in your back office. So don't forget to utilize your back office training. So that bottom link, Builder Bonus, I watched it several times when they first brought this out so that I could learn to talk about it. I think it's a great idea to do as well. And as you're doing it, just remember what I said in the very beginning, and that is just run alongside your success with this company. These are fabulous details, and our company is chock full of the most amazing comp plan ever. Nobody can put their comp plan up against ours, but if you don't know how to perfectly explain it, who cares? That you do not have to know. I swear, I had one of my leaders on the East Coast, she's an RMD, soon to be an NMD, in Raleigh, call me, and I'm not kidding, 2 months in, and she's like, how do we get paid? I go, I have no idea. I had been in 2 months, and I was just almost hit NMD at that time, and I did not know how I was getting paid, and I'm not lying to you. You don't have to have, I want you to learn it. I'm not saying don't learn and pay attention and get the systems. I'm just saying don't let it freeze you in that process, because I see it. I see people go, well, I can't do anything yet because I can't fully explain this program. Well, then I say, well, then I'm going to leave you behind, because we're going to all run that way and keep sharing the bottles and get excited and get that out, Or people that will take their bottles in and stack them up in their closet, take a picture and shut the door. I'm like, those bottles are not going to do anything in that closet. Put them in your car. You got to just run alongside it. Don't wait till you have all this down perfectly. So, building your Nerium business, the 8-point system. This system came out, I think it was maybe 3 months ago, and it's so incredible. It's really a very simple way for you to gauge your activity, to, just to kind of watch your daily things, to make sure that you're actually doing the high payoff activities. The biggest thing I learned from this, and of course from David Bird also, is, make sure that you're doing the right things. Again, it's like the people with the bottles in their, all the bottles in their closet. That's so great. You have all those bottles in your closet, right? Well, it's the same thing also when they say, I read all the emails and I went to a meeting and I let's see, what else did I do? Well, I said, do you talk to anybody? No, I don't talk to anybody. I'm like, okay, we have to change your high payoff activities. This is a system that will show you how to do that. And what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to be critical on anybody, I'm teasing but it's very easy to do. You get stuck sometimes in the trap of doing the things that you think are really, really busy work. And those busy little work things that you're doing are not getting you out there around people. It's not getting magazines and bottles in people's hands. And that's where our business lies, is in the activities where you're talking to people. It's called relationship marketing for a reason, because you need to be out there building relationships constantly. Or it's kind of funny, someone used the term belly-to-belly marketing. Now, you don't have to go around and stand belly-to-belly with people, but it's kind of a funny thought. But, it's important because they want you to be in front of people. and talking about your business. They don't necessarily want you to be behind your computer hoping that somebody will answer you about your business. So the 8 point, it also helps with duplication, because the 8 points that they want you to do with this company, anybody can do this. Anybody, anywhere, any age, anytime. I talked to a gal, and I'm so sorry that I don't know her name, but she was up in the Seattle area, and she called me last summer, and she at the time had been bedridden for 3 months, and she was getting ready to hit senior director from her bed. And I said, how do you do it? And she said, I'm on the phone, but I don't leave messages. I make sure I reach out to people, and I have real conversations, and I send in bottles, and that's how I'm doing it. Anybody can do this. Anybody. There's no excuses. I was talking to a gal who just signed up yesterday who had hip surgery, and she just signed up, and she goes, I don't know if I can do this with a cane. And I said, well, last year was my first year with Nerium, and I had 2 foot surgeries, and I was on crutches for 8 weeks, and on a little rolling cart. I don't know if anyone saw me doing the events on my cart. You know what? You can do it. You can decide, do I want to use my excuses, or do I want to do my business? It's up to you. It's your decision. Okay, so these points, I'm not going to go through them. You can see them. 8 points a day. Do the ones that really make a difference, you guys. You have to read the emails. It's a business. You have to take it seriously. And you have to plug into the calls. We're going to go through that a little bit later. But it's so important that you really realize this is your business, and you have to treat it like a business if you think it's going to grow. But then, more importantly, get in front of people. Do the things. When you go to a market party, spend your days before your market party getting someone to go to your market party with you. We have a lot of consistent people that come to the market parties, or the RFPs that we have in Springfield, and they come every single time, and they never have a guest with them. And I always say, are you working to get a guest here? Well, I didn't this week. And I still want them there, because they will learn every time they go. And you want to support your local market parties and your RFPs. Absolutely, because you're going to get something that might help you out there. So I'm proud of them for coming. But I say, you have to do the work to get someone to that event, to get someone signed up so that they can bring more people to the next event. So it's like this whole process. So it's a matter of doing that. Okay, 8 points. Attend the conference calls. On our team, we always say on our calls that if Jeff Olson were to call you and say, there are 4 calls a week that I need you to be at, and you're going to take those calls in front of me at a desk, I'll be sitting right across from you. Do you think we'd be on those calls? Yes, of course we would. And if your boss in a corporate position said you have 3 meetings a week, you would do it, right? Well, it's very easy in our busy worlds to think, oh, I don't have to catch that call. I don't have to do that call. But it's so important to stay plugged in. The Sunday night call is so great, because after a long weekend of having a whole bunch of fun, what it does for me is it gets me back into that work mode of, okay, here I go. I'm ready to go. And so that's a Sunday night at 9 in your time zone. Nerium University is Monday at 6 p.m. in your time zone. And that is a great training call. We do Nerium University at our home. I just want to make sure I didn't miss. Oh, okay. I'm going to bring Mindy up in a little bit. I didn't want to miss that part. So Nerium University is what we do. We do what they tell you to do. Have fun. Have a potluck. Give it a theme. Mexican night, whatever. Have everyone bring an hors d'oeuvre. Come over and watch the Nerium University together. It's so fun. It's neat to hear everyone's different take on it. Just last week was Danny Gassamy, and I got to be on a couple weeks before, and I didn't replay my call because I knew it was terrible. When you have Minnie Mouse's voice and you're 45, you just don't want to hear yourself. But anyway, but I will tell you, they're really fun calls to do. When they call you to do the Nerium University for Nerium, do it. It's a good learning process. And it's so fun when they pipe that in people's homes, and you get to hear all the different personalities of people across the nation and their tips and their little things. That's on Monday night, and then of course the corporate call on Tuesday. Tuesday at 3, I understand many people are working. That's why we have replays for all these calls. So there's no excuse. Plug it in when you're working out if you can't listen to it at 3 o'clock during the day. The corporate call, to me, honestly, is one of the most important calls we have in this entire company, because you hear from Mark Smith. Tammy's our host. Tammy Smith's our hostess for the call. We get to hear from Jeff Olson. Hopefully soon again we'll hear from Dennis on that call, and Amber Work. So we're hearing from all of our big CEO and founders that tell us what in the world is going on. So you got to be on these calls. Okay, there's the numbers, you guys know. And then the real lifeline, the replay, also has those other awesome blitz calls added to that, which we're going to go over here in a little bit. Oh, take out your phones. If you're a new brand partner and you have not done this yet, please take out your phone and right now text the word REAL to 59769. When we sign on new brand partners on our team, every single new brand partner on our team gets a call from my office that says to do this. This is so important because if they don't get plugged into our call system, they're not going to be on the calls and they're not going to know what's going on. And one of the things that's so important about these calls, besides hearing what's going on and learning the knowledge they're trying to train us on, the other main thing about that is, you guys, it fuels you. It gives you that little pump of excitement all the time about all the big things happening with this company. And when people unplug, you'll lose them. If they stop doing the calls, you'll lose them. And I'll be really honest and frank on our team. When I talk to somebody and they ask me a question that was answered on the call, I'll say, you must have missed the call. And sometimes they're not very happy with me, but they'll go, yeah, I did. I'm like, you got to play the replay. Because I'm answering questions for you right now that were on the call. And so you've got to know what's on those calls because it's really obvious when you're missing the calls. And it's really good for your business to have it.
Has anyone had trouble texting that number? Because Linda and I tried to do it on her phone one night for about an hour and was not able to do it. She does have text capability.
Are you answering her question?
Some carriers don't offer it. Especially if you have a month-to-month or you're only paying for 3G rather than 4G. Okay, that's probably what we ran
Okay,
into.
great. Thank you, because I had not heard of that problem.
What was your answer?
Oh, the question was, does anyone have trouble texting to that number off their cell phone? And the answer was some carriers, or if they're just 3G, it won't work. So there could be some issue with that. Yes. Text the word help to that same number. Okay, the corporate office said text the word help to that same number if you can't get the word real to go through. So awesome. Thank you guys. That's good info. I didn't know about that. Okay, the corporate emails, like we talked about, you got to know what's coming out. You got to read them. You have to know. And what's so amazing is it changes a lot. When we are involved in a company like this, growing as fast as we are growing with Nerium, there are exciting things coming out constantly, and you don't want to miss it. So get on there. You're also getting a point in your daily 8-point tracker, so make sure you're watching that. The personal development, I always tell this joke, but it's so true. Okay, my first whole part of my life till 15 months ago, I was the romance section of Barnes & Noble. And I will tell you, I used to just think my mom was so boring for reading everything in the self-help section, all this interpersonal development. Well, I have been enlightened, thank goodness for Jeff Olson. And it does change you, and it does change the way you think. And all those people that we talked about earlier that have never had somebody tell them how much they can do, and that they can win, and that they can do it, if they've never had that, this is where they get it. And this is why this company and Jeff Olson are so successful, because they know that. They know that if you're filling yourself up with good things and positive thoughts and positive stories and things that just to make you believe in yourself just a little bit more each day, then you go out there as a stronger person, a stronger messenger, and a better rep for Nerium or for whatever you're repping. It just makes you better at everything. So I've been enlightened, and I'm so grateful that I have. There's such amazing things out there for you, and make sure you're doing your 10 pages a day. Product prospecting system. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you when I started with Nerium, I ordered the $1,000 kit for 12 bottles. I had a list of 29 people waiting to see them, and so I was what they called the bottle Nazi. I would literally race the bottle between people. And I was so serious when I gave him the bottle. And I would say, okay, here's the deal. I'd give him the sheet, you know, the Nerium experience and how it all works and everything. I'd give him the sheet. Actually, at that time, we didn't have the ones from the back office, so I typed one up myself, to be very, very honest. And I gave him the bottle, and I told him how they used it, and I took the before picture. And then I said, I have to have this bottle back in 5 days because I have a list of people waiting. I have a waiting list. This is so important. Put it by your sink, and if you don't use it, I'm taking it back anyway. I mean, I didn't know any better. I didn't know, you know, that I was probably should have been a little bit nicer and everything, but I was just like, I got to get these bottles out there, you know. I was just so excited, and I was all lit up with energy, and I'll tell you what happened is it worked. Because they used the bottle, they got it back to me in 5 days, or I chased them down, and you know, I signed on 29 customers my first month of Nerium. And I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you, it's the way you do it. And if I didn't have, thank you, I wish I would have done that this month too, but I didn't. It's the way that I think at that time I had a little bit of that, you know, didn't know exactly what I was doing. All I knew was I was excited, and I only had 12 bottles, and I had all these people, and so I was just like going for it. And it was just so fun. But the thing about it was they got it, and they knew how important it was that I had that bottle back, that they had 5 days. And when I give people a bottle, here's what I say. This is a feel, felt, smell, you know, experience. Your wrinkles are not going to go away overnight. Your wrinkles will go, you know, you will see a major reduction in your wrinkles over time. It depends on your skin when that happens. But I will tell you this. I tell them I saw a reduction in my pore size within 4 days, and I could feel the difference on my skin within 4 days. But when I give them a bottle, I tell them what to expect. I tell them, I say, I love the scent. It's very natural. It's, you know, it's plant-based. There's no perfumes in it. I say, I just want you to know that you're going to try this to see how it feels, see what your thoughts are, and then if you're ready, we're going to get you started on a 30-day money-back guarantee from there. And then I'll get my sample bottle back, get it to my next person, and we'll get you rolling on a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's what I tell people when I give them a bottle of Nerium, and it seems to be a very, very good way to do it. If I have a friend out of state, I will typically ship them the last part of my bottle so that they don't have to get it back to me. That's just what people always ask, what do you do? And that's typically what I do. If I have a really good prospect, I ship them the whole bottle. And I tell them to keep the entire bottle, and I tell them to try it, and then to pass it around to some friends, and I give them the whole, you know, over the phone about how I want them to know about that in their area. And I do use the product prospecting, prospecting packs that you can send out. I had a gal who actually commented on a picture that I posted last week when I was in LA with my sister, and she said, "You look younger than you looked in college." And I was like, yes. That's all you need to hear in this business, right? It's kind of like a fish on a hook. Woo! And I said, Nerium is all I put in my response to what she said. And she's like, what's Nerium? And I was like, yay! Woo! Fish on a hook. And she goes, I said, I'll private message you what it is. And I private messaged her. And then she messaged me back and said, I want some. And so I said, I'm going to send you a full bottle because this is incredible. I know you have tons of friends. This is a friend of mine that I went to school with. Her name's Tiffany. She lives in Pasadena. She lives in a 27,000 square foot house with 5 live-in maids and 2 fireplaces you can walk into. She's never heard of Nerium. I am so going to go move in with her until everybody she knows about Nerium. But okay, so that happened a year after I've been, almost, over a year that I've been in the business. So don't, think of those people, because I didn't think of Tiffany, and she just happened to pop into my life because I made a post, or we did a post and a picture or whatever. So, okay, I'm getting way off track. So, anyway, consult the product prospecting system flyer for details. Follow the 5-step process. Give prospects a Nerium experience flyer when you deliver the bottle. Encourage them to qualify for the 3 in your free program. I do ask everybody that I give, that I sign up as a preferred customer if they would like me to get together with some of their friends and try and get them their free product. I ask if they want to do a coffee at my house. I can come to their house next time they have Bunko, whenever, to try and help them get their bottles for free. I always throw that out. When I do that, people say, okay, so you just stick to the 3 and you're free. I always lead with the opportunity. I will go in there and make them believe they're just hearing about the product, but I will throw little 30-second commercials in about our opportunity, because I may look like a dumb blonde, but my mind thinks business, and this is big business, what we have going on here. And so I make sure that I go and I help them get their product for free. That, of course, is our goal. But when they leave there, they all know that we have an opportunity to offer. And if it's not for them, they might know somebody else, and to keep us in mind. So just that little side note. Obviously, if you're going to get a success pack versus a premier success pack, you can see how many more people you could get to. I did this one, and I did get the bottle out to that many people per bottle, because I was the bottle Nazi, and it really makes a huge difference. When I'm pitching the Nerium opportunity to anybody that I get the chance to, I always super hard encourage they get the larger pack. To me, it absolutely makes the most sense. Everybody in our life has more than 4 friends, and they're going to want the 5th bottle at home on their own sink. So I just make sure I tell them that, and then try and get them excited about doing the $1,000 pack. Not everybody can afford it, but I do really pitch hard for that. And I tell them my story. I tell them how I got the bottles moving around and how fast I paid off my investment by doing it that way, and that you'll pay off your investment that much faster. Promoting the opportunity. Mastering the 2-a-day system. This is an awesome slide. Puya and I, he spends a lot of time, Puya Gandhi, and he's one of the leaders in our upline. He spends a lot of time on this slide. I think it's a really good one to really fully understand. But it's basically a simple circle of life is what we're doing right here. The Nerium life. So you pique somebody's interest. You ask them, for me, a lot of times I'm really good at meeting strangers, and I'm not afraid to meet strangers. I spend, a lot of time just visiting with people anywhere I am, Walgreens, just wherever. One of my ways to start talking to people is I always notice children. I love children anyway, and I'll always just say, you have a beautiful child or a beautiful baby, and just smile and, just try and naturally start a conversation. I don't do anything weird. I don't chase people across the parking lot with a bottle of Nerium in my hand, Don't do that. They always say, don't give someone an aspirin if they don't have a headache. But what I do is I try whatever I can in my everyday situation to very nonchalantly have them ask me what I do. So my goal is to always make conversation to where I ask them questions to get them back to ask me that question. And when they do, of course, I have my fish hook in my mouth. Oh, I'm so excited, because I know they're going to ask me the question. And what I'll do is I'll say things like this, do you get to stay home full time with your sweet baby? And a lot of times they'll say, no, I have to work. I'm like, well, where do you work? And they'll say, oh, maybe they're a nurse, or they're working at a call center or whatever. And I'll say, oh, are they rough hours? And I just kind of ask little questions, and then when the time is right, I'll just say, if they don't ask me, if they don't come back and say, well, what do you do in that setting that we're in, then my line to bring Nerium is, and I'll say, well, have you heard of Nerium yet in your area, because it's a great way to get young parents at home. And if they say, no, I haven't heard of Nerium, then I'm like, oh, you haven't? And I look at them like they have missed everything, you know what I mean? And they're like, no, it just scares them to death that they haven't heard about it. I swear you guys, try that. It's so hilarious, and it works. So I go, oh, you haven't? And they're like, no, I haven't heard of it yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, well, you need to know about it, because if I had young children, I would want to know about Nerium, because there's so many amazing stay-at-home moms now with our company that are making a great income, and they make their own hours. Wouldn't that be nice? And get them to try and say, yes, because that's what you want, is to them to be agreeing with you. And then I usually drop it, finish whatever we're doing, and then before we leave, wherever we are, that's when I will hand them a tool. I'll just say, you know what, before we leave, since you kind of haven't heard about it, can I just give you some information and then follow up with you and see if you'd like to try the product? Sometimes in certain situations you can give them the product and the magazine at the same time, depending on how you know them or how the conversation has happened. But for me, I will typically give them a magazine, and I will get a time to follow up with them, and then I will call them back and just say, have you had a chance to look at the magazine and the page I marked? I always mark a page, depending on their age, their look, their occupation. I'll mark somebody in there. I know all the stories, and like Danny's, if it's a young man, or maybe potentially somebody that's out in the workforce or construction, I would mark Danny's page for sure. And Bill Boone has been in the networking business forever. I'd mark his page for that. Of course, my upline is Laura Knox, and I'd mark her page for anyone that's an esthetician or a salon person, because she's been a salon person for over 30 years. So I always mark a page and get that follow-up with them, and then get back on the phone with them, get the bottle into their hands. And when you get the bottle in their hands, you always want to set the follow-up. And if you're not setting a follow-up to pick up your bottle or your magazine, some people pick up magazines too. I usually let them have them. But if you're not setting a follow-up, then you're not doing your follow-up. That's the bottom line. You need to set that time. Because if you don't, you're going to spend the rest of that month trying to track them down. And none of us have time to track people down. And in today's world, even if they're not trying to be evasive, people run crazy schedules. And so you need to set that time and make sure that you're going to get back to them and follow up, and then get them sponsored. Labeling your tools, it seems so simple. But how many people have found a magazine around town without a label on it? Not too many in this room. Awesome, you guys. I'm sure people are getting really good at this, but in the beginning, in our town alone, I found 3 in 3 different doctor's offices, and that's a true story. And so I put my label on it, by the way, which I do carry my labels in my David Bird planner. I have them with me at all times. Because I've had to actually buy, like today I had to buy that bottle of day cream, but before I've had to buy like magazines when I've been traveling and I ran out, and then I used to have my labels with me, so always carry your labels with you, but make sure your labels are big. I was using the green ones from the company, and they would blend in with those bubbles, so make sure you're using something that really stands out. Get your proper information on there. Get your lead capture page on there, your social media page, email address, phone number, and your name. Your lead capture pages, you enter people into these in the back office, and it just automatically clicks out stuff to them. It's an amazing thing, and then when they open up the video, you know that they're watching a video. So it's a wonderful autoresponder campaign, and a lot of times I use all these tools in the back office, but I also depend on me. You have to depend on you to run your business. So I don't depend on that lead capture page that it's going to capture my person, right? It's up to me to do the follow-up and to get back in touch with them and to be in person with them. Power of duplication. So in this business, I learned this lesson a really hard way. I had Mark Smith in town and Jeff Olson. No, Jeff Olson wasn't there. I had Mark Smith in town. He was in my car. I was driving him to an event in Springfield. And he said, "You're going to have tools tomorrow, right?" This was last August, when I was still very new. And I said, "Tools?" I mean, my husband works in an auto body shop. So I'm thinking, yeah, I honestly was like, had no clue. And he goes, "You're not selling magazine and tools at your event?" His voice all raspy. And I go, I'm like, "No, I haven't been doing that, Mark." He's like, "Oh my God." And he picks up the phone right there in my car, and he calls Jeff Olson. He's like, "Jeff, Lisa Cox, she built this market without selling any tools, and then. And I get hear Jeff go, "What?" I mean, it was so bad. And I'm like crying, I'm like crying, like should I be crying? It was like so embarrassing. I had no clue. I know now. I got it now. But they overnighted 3,000 magazines to my event. Yes. And so that I would have tools there. We had over 500 people at that event that time, and they overnighted the tools there for me, so that I could sell the tools. We sold every one of those tools. And do you know what happened to those magazines? They all went out into the marketplace. And so I learned the power of duplication, because when they said to me, "Lisa, if you're buying magazines, awesome, but if you have all your people buying magazines and putting it out into the marketplace, just think what can happen." So I learned the hard way, but you can see what can happen with the power of duplication. And 15,600. So what they were saying back there, sorry, I'm so bad with skipping over slides because I get all excited. But so if you have 2 a day, then you have a team of 10 doing 20 a day, and then a team of 30 doing 60 a day, and that would give you over 15,000 exposures for 1 year, which is absolutely so exciting and incredible. The magazine auto ship program, I have heard, this is the last month you can do it. Is that what you've heard? September is last month. You can sign up for this. We have the numbers in statistically. People that are on the Magazine Auto Ship Guarantee program are doing 4 times the business than other people that are not on it. So I'm just going to tell you right now, you need to be on this program. If you are a new brand partner, this could change your future in this company. And the reason why is because when those magazines ship to your home every single month, and you know the next month you're going to get another stack of them, you are going to get them out into your marketplace. And you are guaranteed at the end of your year, if you do that consistently and register the names of the people that you give your magazines to, that you will be given, if you haven't earned $5,000 or more, they're going to pay you back for the magazines and pay you $5,000 or the difference between what you have made and the $5,000. No other company guarantees you to make $5,000 your first year of working with them like Nerium does. It's an incredible, incredible thing. In fact, you could sell our company on, we are a company of guarantees. You know, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you have a $5,000 income your first year guarantee if you do the magazine program. That program is going to run out, I think, in 15 days. So if you're not on this program, I highly suggest you get on this program. When I sit down and do my Fast Start game plans with the new brand partners, that's what I do, is we sign them up when we start the new magazine program. Nerium Blitz calls. Okay, they now have, well, these are the recruiting calls with prospect and opportunity testimonials. Wednesday, every hour, on the hour, they do that still for our big Wednesday closes. This is your backup bridge, and this is your number. And what we always say to people is, hey, do you have about 15, 20 minutes today that I can have you jump on a call? Grab a pen. Let me give you the number. And they call it Gap somebody. So what you do is you want to really get on there early in the morning on Wednesdays or the day before and talk to some people and get them on these calls first in the morning. You can have an actual person Fast Start qualify in one day if you really worked this system. Because you could get a new brand partner or one that's going to sign on this morning call at 9 o'clock, and then you could have them get their friends on the next call and do it that way, and you could actually get somebody Fast Start qualified within one day if you learn to utilize this. Okay, Mindy, would you join me?